Welcome back to Freedom to Learn podcast. For those who are new to this, please subscribe and press on the like button. You'll see a lot more episodes coming your way. And my name is Guru Eleshwarapu. I'm the CEO of Silicon Valley for You. Today we have Richa Rambhia. She's a master's student at Northeastern College, Boston, and she has done a project with the Silicon Valley for You. So we are going to talk to her about her journey coming from India, with the aspirations to for higher education in US, and subsequently what she wants to do, how she's going to go about building her career and everything. So welcome, Richa.
Yeah, thank you so much, Guru, for having me. So hello everyone. My name is Richa, and I am here doing my master's at Northeastern University, in the field of data analytics. Previous to this, I completed my bachelor's in India from University of Mumbai, in the field of computer science engineering. So how I landed up here for doing my master's is because through my bachelor's journey, there were a lot of courseworks and projects that I did, which like helped me understand in what field I want to go further. And that is when I realized that data is something that I want to work with, and have like more of analysis work being doing with that, so that I can help the companies and businesses. So that is when I decided that I want to pursue my master's, and so I am here. I've just completed 1 year of it, and I'm into the second year of my graduation period.
Fantastic. So, I think I really like you having that clarity in terms of, this is what I want to do. Trust me, that's a struggle for a lot of people, and even if they're in 40s and 30s and whatnot. So I have this curiosity. When I left India, and a lot of people of my time, there were only 4 or 5 companies in India, and going to US is part of the career. It's like it's like a career plan. It's not going to US. It's about, okay, you know what, i'm gonna I'm gonna write gate, I'm gonna write, what is it, what is the other one, cat, and then I'm gonna write GRE, because it's not like I'm going there for my higher education. This is like a career goal. But now, with all the you know the you know crazy crazy, crowded industry, tech industry companies and everything, do you still see the value of coming to US for higher education compared to, let's say you did masters in India, compared to coming here? Because,
Um,
yeah, so I just wanted to finish my thought. Like, back in my time, even if I do masters, I still have to come to US. So might as well go early, right? So why you want to go do one more? Anyway, there are other reasons too, but without going into details, because if I do masters in India, and let's say if I work for, let's see, Amazon, right? But Amazon is also in India right nowadays. So coming here is not necessarily the only option that you have. That's why I'm curious to know, the trend of coming here is still, is same level, or is it a little less, or even more?
yeah, so I don't know about the comparison exactly, but the trend is definitely there. I am seeing so many students who are coming here after I have come, or but even before me. But then I just feel that there are students who really want to get into the field that they're interested in to study further, because probably there is always been this comparison that the Indian education lies more of into a theoretical part, but when it comes to the United States, it's more of like a practical thing, and you get the idea of how the companies really work here. So that is one reason that people are coming here, and I feel that that is sort of like fine that you're trying to follow your your passion into that field, and then probably go further. But yeah, definitely the lifestyle here, the work style, the way things work here is very different than back in India. And so I think people do want to come here, but then there are other people as well who just like, okay, this is what is the trend. You complete your bachelor's, you have to do your master's because there's nothing left. Maybe you get a job in India, but which is like, of not a good package. So let's go complete masters, maybe, then get a good job there. So that is sort of become a trend of what I'm seeing right now. But I have also seen there are many students like that who come here to actually follow their passion into that particular field.
Yeah. See, that's precisely what I was trying to get at. In other words, there is always, hey, I want to go to Australia, Canada, or US, and then I want to do this master's degree because there is that you did the research, let's say, and then okay, this is what I want to do. Subsequent to that, once you finish the degree, what you do is should be up to you. In other words, you should not follow this, for lack of better term, bandwagon. Okay, once that happens, okay, now, in general, in US, there is CPT, there is OPT, there is H1B, and then, you get into this whole green card situation. So I call it bandwagon, right? So in my opinion, because there is one thing to follow the bandwagon, the other thing is to build your own career. So in other words, you mentioned that I'm interested in data, and I want to contribute to this whole you know AI, machine learning, data, engineering going forward. If that is the case, there are many ways to do it. You can build your own company, or you can work for a company. Nothing wrong with it. And you can, but this is what I want to do. After a year, this is where I want to be. After 3 years, this is where I want to be. And 5 years, this is what I want to be. Some idea, not necessarily exactly, so that you can maneuver your career and also maneuver the companies or the or startups you want to be part of, whether you want to be with a big company or startups or whatnot. So that is non-bandwagon path where you're controlling your own destiny rather than, oh man, that guy is not going to give you me H1B, I'm not going to join. Although I like the job, I'm not going to join because he's not crossing my H1B, you know what I mean? And or this guy is going to do green card sooner than other guy does, all these. So I'm not trying to be, it's not a funny thing when you're going through it, but you know what I'm saying. Uh, you have the advantage of deciding all those right now. If once you are in it, and let's say you invest 3 to 5 years of your time, sometimes you get into a situation you can't go back, you can't forward. So it's like you may not like the situation you may be in, not you as in literally you know what I mean. So that's where I'm coming from. You do the masters, and then do you see yourself staying here? You don't have to answer, but point I'm trying to say is that where your mind is at, in terms of how you want to contribute to the industry.
So what I feel like that my main aim or goal was to just come here to get more of practical knowledge with respect to data, or even to work on projects when I am in college. And then maybe, get around overall experience even after when I'm done with my course. Again, as you mentioned, I'm not sure whether I would stay back or not over here. But the whole point for me in my career path is that to work as a data scientist or a data analyst, be it any company or anything. But the whole point is that, okay, I want to work in this field, be it here or in India. But I knew that once I'm out of my bachelor's, I don't have that proper knowledge or even experience in this particular field that I would, quickly get a job, or I could, get any opportunity. So the important thing was to get into this completely first, understand how everything works, and understand this field, So that was what my priority was, and I thought about it, and then so I wanted to pursue my master's here. So I think I will be completing my course, and now that I have pretty much come a long way, I have and I've worked for Silicon Valley as well, so I know now how things work in the industry as well. So the main goal is again for me to be a data scientist, a data analyst, and contribute as much as I can to this field. Irrespective of whether it's here or back in India. I might go
Absolutely.
back to
Yeah.
India as well, because I am rooted to my family, so I will be definitely needing to go back. So it's not like I want to, have a settlement here or
Yeah.
anything. But yeah, it's basically the entire field that I'm passionate about right now.
Yeah. I appreciate that. See, there are two parts. So there's a personal part, which is obviously very unique to each individual. I'm talking about, the professional side of things. So, so as you know very well, so this is what we do at Silicon Valley for you, is to bring that awareness of the industry while you're still in school. And then not only, you guys work with us, and also we work with undergrad programs all over the world. So I like to add one more thing for you. I appreciate that you have some clarity in terms of, okay, this is what I want to do. I want to be a data scientist, solving problem related to data. I want you to think through a little bit more, one step above, saying, hey, these are the problems I want to solve. There, there are billions of problems. You get up in the morning, you go to sleep, there are tons of problems. I can list out 50 a day. And we all kind of adjust to the situations we are in. And so healthcare, for instance, healthcare, I was at a urgent care in Silicon Valley. This is this is Silicon Valley. And there are a lot of deficiencies where we can't use tech. And the person who's going to urgent care, I was helping my friend. You can't send all your information through your phone before you get there. You have to stand in the line. This is called urgent care. Why are you standing in the line? So I'm just giving that as an example. Point is that there's a lot of, so my recommendation to you is identify certain areas, whether it's healthcare, education, or in manufacturing or retail, your finance, and all that. I don't know, based on your background, some of your interests, gaming, for instance, and also gamification, right? There are tons of areas. You can pick the one that interests you, and then say, okay, by the way, I want to solve this. And then, I'm for that, you can work backwards. Because keep in mind, in 10, 15 years, it's already almost there. We work with some partner companies. They're already commoditizing AI. So they have a platform. You throw the data, it build the model for you. So in concept, they are trying to replace data scientists. And it could happen, and it's going to happen. So in other words, at some point, your value lies in understanding the data. In order to understand the data, you need to know the verticals. So if, for instance, I've dealt with a bunch of projects, have a sense of data, and I know, but if I go walk into healthcare, I'm novice. So almost zero, literally. Even if I figure it out, I'm not qualified, so to speak. Same with finance, right? Certain areas I'm good at, certain areas I'm not good at. So you can't be good at everything. That's given. And so you have to pick an area. Okay, you know what? I'm interested in focusing on security is the other one. So we do a lot of projects in security, cybersecurity. Green for the rest of your life. Green area. You're gonna have enough number of jobs, enough number of problems. Trust me, people are working on it for you. So so there is, you can that's my recommendation to you. But anyway, that's just on a side note. So tell me one thing. You said that education systems in India do not give you opportunity or give you the awareness of connecting to the real world, and that happens here in US. So are you referring to the one that you did with Silicon Valley for you, or there are other avenues as in within the campus? Do they provide any other platforms for you to see these things?
I think that one aspect is definitely working with Silicon Valley for you. So there's this complete entire coursework wherein we got connected to you and your company, and we worked for a project, and that was like a real-time project that we got experience about. So yeah, definitely that somewhere down makes a difference between the two. But also I feel like there are a lot of projects that come up, like a lot of assignments and everything that come up in the university within the course, that help us to actually work on that like hands-on, wherein if you consider back in India, it's more like theoretical and you have like exams and stuff like that. Yeah, exams do work out, but then there are a lot of people that will just like read up and then put it down on the paper. It's very less that people would try to understand what exactly is that and try to apply that to a problem. So I think that is sort of a difference when it comes to the education here and back in India there.
So did you work between bachelor's and master's?
Yeah, so what had happened is that I was gonna come for my master's directly after my bachelor's, but due to COVID, I just got stuck. So I worked with a company, Larsen Turbo Infotech, for like 10, 11 months. And I had some training work and everything done there. And then I was like into the testing department. So I thought I would just give it a try maybe. And but then it didn't work out. Like I literally wanted to go into the data field, and this was completely out of my passion and the work that I wanted to do. So yeah, I just resigned off there and then came here.
Yeah, right. The reason I'm asking is, see, you know that we work with colleges in India, and also I was in India in April, May, and prior to that, pre-COVID, also I was talking to a few. So bottom line is the what I noticed is, correct me if I'm wrong. So I'm talking about BTech undergrad students. Um, by the way, this is for a certain region. I don't know it's applicable everywhere. So they come out and there is there is this the cloud of if I the when I go to colleges, I see a big banner that says this person got into Amazon, this is the package. And I asked some of those colleges, what is that person doing now after 2 years? Nobody knows. So what I understood is this: there is this again bandwagon where, okay, this is the package, that's the keyword, and second tier detail is company name, third tier detail is, I guess, I don't know, I don't think anybody cares after that. So there is this this thing that they join this company. So what happens is all these multinationals, they have some legacy projects, they need somebody, some testing or some maintenance or staring at some of these products, because they need people. So Amazon's, Flipkart's, Oracle's, name it. So what they do is they need somebody. So they give a decent package, whatever that means, and then they want the person to stick around without you know causing trouble. In other words, if you leave after 3 months, 6 months, you headache, right? They want just guy, just girl or guy, just stay there, don't ask questions. We pay you every month, good for you, and get married, have girlfriends, boyfriends, whatever. So what's happening is, after, so they join, and then there is this, and the always, I say this, I preach to everybody, companies are there for a long time. Amazon is going to do well, and you got the package, you join Amazon. What are you going to do after 2 3 years? Do you even know? Are they even painting the picture for you? So that is not even asked, because the moment you hear the package, they call it job drive or whatever, get it. So it's like a take and put everybody inside, I guess, I don't know. And then so after 2 years, you're like flat, and it's essentially it's going nowhere. This is what I was saying. It doesn't go up, it doesn't go down, and nobody to ask anything, and God knows what's happening. And suddenly they realize, man, I need to, what do I do now? Because if they leave, with all due respect, the capabilities of the individual is same going in, coming up, because you're looking at some testing or whatever. So I spoke to some of the folks who have been with Infosys for 4 years, and she wanted to come to Canada. Very simple question. What are you? So if you want to come to Canada, what do I tell? If I want to hire you, tell me about yourself. She just couldn't tell, and she doesn't know what that project is. She doesn't know who the client is. She doesn't know what is involved in that project. She says that she's more like a program manager, a project manager, and people do something and just I had no idea. So long story short, that may be a worst case. I don't know, but point I'm trying to make is that they're not able to learn anything out of it, and then after 2 years they write GRE. This is like a trump card. Okay, let's get out of here. So and then they come here and then they do masters and then the journey starts here, which is again something else. But tell me if what I understood is right, and because if that is true, there are remedies for that, and you don't have to follow that. And first of all, my humble request to people is, yes, money is important. The whole world is revolved around that, period. And there's no doubt about it. It's not what you're getting at that moment. And if you look at the package without considering your career, you're shooting in your own foot, because that package will be there until they need you. And these multinational companies, once they don't need you, it is what it is, and you lose good amount of time figuring out these things. 5 to 7 years of your best time of life, and that is more precious right now for you, all of you. The most precious thing right now is your time, how well you are spending your time, how well you are learning. In other words, by the time you finish your degree, this is the reason I was talking about next class profile. By the time you finish your degree, if you have a quality profile, that's the wealth. Not, with all due respect, whatever money you can potentially make, and that's not going to give you the jump start. In other words, I mean, that is that. I'm not saying that you don't look for it, but bottom line is, if you don't have this, you just have that, you're in trouble. I can tell you that right now. So tell me what you see is what I said is true or not. If it is not true, then I want to hear a little bit more.
Yeah, so some like what you just mentioned, it's kind of somewhere true because yeah, I have seen companies do that, like they just put you on bench and you don't have anything to work around with for a while. But I think that students do pick up those kind of jobs because again they follow that trend that okay, I've completed this, now I have to do a job. So that is the trend line that they are following probably, and like you mentioned, they do like a 2-year job or something and then come here for their masters. So I think there could be a couple of reasons because of that. One, that maybe some of them think that they need some sort of experience before they come here to the US and do their master. So that is the reason they do like a job there in India and then come here back, like come here for their masters. And another reason could be like they just have to do something, and then probably, or they just did not figure out what they're supposed to be doing during the bachelor's. Like, okay, I want to get into this field, I want to walk into this kind of thing, and then maybe they approach that particular company who is willing to take them with respect to their field. So they are not clear about their part at the very beginning, so they'll end up into companies like these, and then probably when they're working or when they're on bench is when they realize that okay, this is not what I want to do and I want to get into another field, and then probably they decide for their masters. So yeah, I think the students who are doing their the bachelor's or the undergrad, it's very important for them to have a clear idea before jumping into the industry, because it's not always necessary that you need to pursue your master's. Like after you have completed your bachelor's, if you have the necessary skills and you've made yourself capable of that particular field that you want to go into, I think working in India in any of the industries is also great, and you can prove yourself there as well. The reason why the companies put you on benches because we don't have any experience. We don't have enough of knowledge about how the companies work, so it takes time for the for us to adjust with them, and they for them to teach us everything. So that is one reason that happens. But yeah, I think if the students are well versed with what they want to do in future in their career, with a field that is set, I think then the companies will definitely go for them, and they can get started with their career as soon as they can.
Yeah. So I think you put it succinctly. In my opinion, I kind of say that same thing. So in other words, you can't rely on the systems. So there's certain you have to elevate yourself. You have to figure it out. So that's why, for instance, the point I was trying to make earlier, if somebody offers you certain package, certain job, if you are in a position to ask what that job entails and what would be my career after 2 to 3 years, and if you're confident enough to articulate that, and if you get the response, in fact, if you do ask and correctly, and if they do hear, they will give you a better project. Trust me. It's not like they don't want to give you a better project. I'm pretty sure they probably have. If not that company, you'll go to some other company. The point I'm trying to make is there are projects, or I shouldn't say projects, there are pathways that leads you to what you want. And if they don't, if they like you, they will create one for you. And however, the problem is not that. There is, unfortunately, these systems, they kind of break, for lack of better term, brainwash them. If you do these things, you get this package, you get into that. That's like that's the destination for everybody. They think this is it. I made it. No, you're at zero. You're starting out literally, and also, all the, at least in your case, you're in the on the better side of things. There are all these intangible skills that people have to learn. For instance, some people come from not so good schooling systems, and their communication is may not be that high, and or even it's not about the language, the overall approach. It's not just the language. So you need to develop all those in order for you to be confident about what you want to do. So all those things, that's what this is the program we built, Silicon Valley for You, is to bring that awareness from first year onwards, to have this mindset so that you change yourself. You think on those lines, and it's a process. You're not going to change overnight. Nobody can change overnight. You have to start thinking on those lines, saying, I want to be a data scientist. And in order to become a data scientist, I need these 5 things. And then once I figure out how to learn those, and then how do you apply? And then create something. And then, so as you create, you get the connection to the real world. You understand how to solve a problem. You understand how to ask somebody, for the information, and how to ask for the data. Keep in mind, the problems in the real world are very unstructured. They don't have curriculum. There is no course. There is no semester there. And as a result, sometimes you think you hit the dead end, because there is no dead end. There are ways to do it, but you can't see it because there is no structure associated with it. So let's say you will go and ask data, and the guy says, I don't have data. I don't want to talk to you. Happens. But there are ways to get around. But but if you're not used to doing that, you think that, man, I'm not cut out for this. You just quickly jump into the conclusion without going through the process, or trying through other processes or other avenues. So that's why I'm saying that it's also some of these things, some of the problems, some of the solutions, they're real world. They happens in real time, and you can't simulate them. You can't build a course for that. You can't say, okay, let's say, we simple things, right? Let's say you're building app for coffee place. And there are so many coffee places, so many things. When you're dealing with the tangible ones, which are programming and understanding business case, all that is one thing. And the other things are, how do you make this relevant to the coffee place? I build all these fantastic application. Nobody wants to use it. So then you are a good coder. That's pretty much it, and nothing much, nothing more than that. And so that's where, I mean, many times, what happens is, you are into this marathon of learning from kindergarten all the way to masters, in some cases PhDs, and then there's postdoctorate. Some people just don't not stop, and they just don't know when to stop. And if you want to become a person in academia, that's great. That's a perfect path, because you are highly respected in that industry. But if you want to be in the commercial side of things, you need to have perspective at every stage. Am I relevant to the world? Otherwise, you are going in your own your own vacuum, your own tangent. So if you are not relevant, and then you realize after so many years, to make yourself relevant, it takes very long time. That's when people call jobless. I'm not able to get a job. I don't know why they're not hiring me. Or if you get a job, the growth is not great, and I'm doing this. I don't know. I don't like what I do, but I still have to do it because I need a paycheck. There are 80%. I don't know the numbers. I shouldn't say 80%, but there are a lot of people. They work for companies without liking it. So they just do it because they have to get a paycheck. I mean, we see that everywhere in India here. So all those happening because it's a fit. It's not entirely their fault. They're a business. They need somebody to do this work. This is it. This is their spec, and you signed up for it. And what are you gonna do? So you have to have that clarity, and if you have that clarity, you're going to pick on a good one. And good one means whatever matches you. There is no good or bad, right? It's all relative. If you like it, that's a good one for you. And but to identify, this works for me, this doesn't work for me, I am this, for me these things work, these things don't work. You need to have that discovery process. That takes time, because you are never put into that discovery process. Even now, I'll tell you right now, you're doing all this. What if maybe you're a good marketing person? Probably you didn't know. You never got a chance to try it out. And maybe maybe you are good at content creation, or you're a good people manager, or I don't know, completely different altogether. Maybe you're a good at wild. I'm just joking now. But within the spectrum of what you want to do, for instance, data science, you want to be data scientist. There are several roles, right? There's a content, there is a marketing side of things, there is business development side of things, and technical side of things. I think one needs opportunity to try out all those. That's what I call internship. The definition of internship is to connect a student to the real world. So real world has so many things. Just because you did, I can speak for myself. When I did my computer science, my college told the rest of the world that this guy is only allowed to be a software developer or a QA guy, some software guy. Industry told me that this is it. You got this letter that says computer science. This is the only job you can apply for. If I apply for any other job, they don't even entertain the conversation. They don't even bother looking at my resume, because I don't have MBA, I don't have experience, or I don't have blah, blah, whatever they're looking for. I don't think that's correct, because I got that certificate because I did that degree. Back then I wrote an MSET. Why did I join this? I don't know. I got the rank, I joined. And now, after my undergrad, I want to be a product manager. But the stereotype told, you're not qualified. That's wrong by both, in my humble opinion, by the education system more so. Companies are companies, right? They're into business. They're not going to take a chance on you, and that it can potentially impact their business negatively. So college should have given me opportunity in first year or second year, sometime. Hey, you know what? Once you complete computer science, these are all the different pathways. Okay, what do you want? What do you want to do? What do you like? What do you don't like? Okay, try these out. If you're not sure, try these out, and then tell me what worked for you. And then once you finish your final year degree, you choose one of them that best suits you. That's not there. You know what is there? Compiler design, operating system, database design, blah blah. Like marathon, like this after that, and then some of them gets repeated 2-3 times because I don't know why. I did blacksmithy, tinsmithy. I did mechanical engineering also first year. I don't know why. Carpentry. Why do I need it? I didn't. I hated it back then. I still don't know why I did all that. Otherwise, I failed. That's my problem. If it is optional, I wouldn't have gone there. They made me do that. That guy used to yell at us if I'm not there, and so if I failed, I don't know, I would have been working for a medical shop in India right now. So because I didn't do carpentry very well. So you know what I mean? So this is crazy systems out there. And they say that you need to be well-rounded. Okay, I joined computer science. If I want to learn carpentry, I'll figure it out. I know how to get it done. I know how to go and ask somebody, and that guy will teach me. I'll figure out my life. You don't have to force me to do that. So I don't know if you guys did that or not. We did. I did it. I remember very well.
You did it, yeah.
Yeah, just silly. And just silly. I mean, I can't fathom this whole thing anyway. I don't want to be too negative about it. So I guess I don't know where we're going with all this. Bottom line is this is the message I'm trying to put it out there from Silicon Valley point of view. This is the reason I was asking you to build your profile on Nextclap, that builds a real world profile which is authentic. The keyword is authentic, that we certify, because we have direct knowledge of you doing these things, so that when you talk to these companies, not only you get what you want, and you need to be in a position to ask, what's your roadmap from that point onwards, next 3 to 5 years. Otherwise, if they don't give you, hey, I don't know, we'll see when you join, you should talk to one more company at least. That's my opinion. So anyway, with that, I know, sorry, I just took over and then went on to, because it's a very fascinating subject and just interestingly. So why don't you talk about your association, a little bit about the project you worked on, and then we'll go from there.
Yeah, so I got in touch with Silicon Valley for you due to my coursework. Our professor had connected us with you to do a project, which was part of a coursework as well. So yeah, that is when I got connected to you, and I got to know about the company and how it works and what has been going on with it. And I feel the project, the entire time that we spend doing the project and connecting with you to get the more insights about what is to be done. It was quite interesting because I feel that was sort of a good experience for me that helped me understand, how I would probably connect to someone for whom I'm doing the project, and then, how exactly it needs to be done, how it needs to be delivered. So I think I was well versed of doing a project only with respect to the coursework, but not completely like, working into industry. So I got those, so like building a machine learning model and doing all of those things with data is fine. But when it comes to like actually putting that out with the industry, with the client, the presentations, the communications, because analyzing data is one thing, and when you try to communicate that to your client or the industry, that's another thing. So I think I learned these small things due to this experience that I've got, and it really helped me, like build my profile and my skill sets even more. So yeah, that was pretty good experience that I got with Silicon Valley for you.
Thank you. I appreciate it. So the feeling is mutual. So we really like, that's why I reached out to the professor, and then in fact I asked for you, and I believe she spoke to you and the whole 9 years. With all due respect to other teams, your team was the the only team that really did good, in my opinion, at that time. So as I said, yeah. So the point is that some of the you know some of the stuff that you do as part of the college project is it's basically handed off to you. So when you in the reality of the world, for instance, we are doing one of the projects. So I was planning on involving you as well. So we are so something to do with image processing. Prior to the image processing, how we get the sensor data, how you interpret the sensor data to really detect the image or not, to decide whether to detect the image or not. This is a model we build to look at the data and say this can potentially this is a human body or a cat or car or something. And so the challenge with that is, you know, so we are at a point right now. I'll just fast forward. We are going to take an image, a bunch of images as data, and we are going to sort of synthesize the data. We are doing reverse engineering. So in other words, the problem we are trying to solve is, security cameras want to know when sensor gives me some data, I want to know if this is really a human body or not. They also have a lot of false positives. They turn on the camera, it turned out to be something else. And that costs a lot of power and a lot of processing and whole 9 years, right? So they don't want that. So, but how do you make sure that, you need a lot of data. You need tons of data to determine the patterns, and they don't have enough data. So how do you get the data? So what we decided is, okay, why don't we take the images? We can get a lot of images. You can just go on YouTube and all videos. You can take images. We can take our own pictures. You can get how much ever we want. And then we reverse engineer and then generate the data. And then we also take the data that census gives and then combine these two. Now we have a lot of data to get better accuracy in the model. See, these are the complex problems. If you don't solve the complex problem, then there is no job. You know what I mean? A job not always, especially in our space, I'm talking about, manufacturing and other things is just you do that, right? You take from here and drop it there or whatever. Um, in our field, you have to solve a complex problem that has not been done, or you bring a different dimension to solving the problem, whatever it may be. So those complex problems, so providing solutions is the mindset, the mentality of understanding and thriving on those is everything. In my humble opinion, once you have it, with all due respect, whether you're a postdoctorate, PhD, master's, undergrad, doesn't matter. You know what I mean? Because you have linear regression is there since 1970s. Okay, it's not something new. And then there is Java code always been there. Python code is always there, and there are tons of models, built-in models already available. And if they're not available, you can build something. They're all commoditized, in my humble opinion. What is not commoditized is how do you solve this problem? You can't get it on the internet. See, that's my passion. And that's not when I say that's my passion. What I mean by that is that's that kind of exposure I want to bring to the student. That's my passion. Because if it is an easy problem, they don't need you. There is always already software platform. They are doing them already. You throw the data, it just builds the model. There are tons of them already. And what those platforms can do is you threw me data, nothing came out. What's going on right now? So that's where your expertise has to come. Then you have to say, the solution I provide may be a solution. Maybe that's not a good solution. I don't even know. We haven't tried yet. We are working on it. So if you work on those and if you solve one or two problems, your confidence level and your perspective completely changes. In my humble opinion, that's the difference between Mark Zuckerberg, Bill Gates, Elon Musk. If you follow on Twitter, that guy has all creative ideas all the time. The difference between them and us is just a mindset plus their confidence of solving these complex problems, one or two, at least one. once you solve one decent problem, you are in a different league. And so anyway, I'm going to stop there. Otherwise, I'm going to take another 1 hour of your time. So you got what I'm saying, right?
Yeah.
All right. So with that, I'll ask this fun question. The last one is, what's your, a piece of technology that you think you need that doesn't exist today?
I'm not really quite sure about this because if with respect to machine learning and artificial intelligence, we already have like robots everywhere that are being trying to build in and go with it. But I feel that there is like a more of a need of whatever I read and whatever I know of. There's more of need for the natural language processing to go into more of detail, to build that technology in a way that could help, because I think that that is one field of data that needs a lot of refinement and a lot of work there, because there are a lot of problems that need help that can be solved using NLP. So I think I remember of one where I read that with respect to some medical field that they needed I don't remember quite well, but they needed some kind of audio data so that they could process it and help out with it. But yeah, I think with respect to medical fields or even any other fields, there is a lot of possibilities that many of the problems can be solved using this technology of NLP, but it lacks somewhere down. It's not like completely there and that we can use it for like 100% accuracy or something. So I think that technology needs to be worked upon, and then we can use it to solve a lot of problems that we are facing right now.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree with you. I think we are going to be there. It's just a matter of time. I think as we discussed multiple times, see, more data we get, and things get even better. But the problem many times when it comes to these things is having succinct data, this quality data, I call it. And you get data, but you get nothing out of it sometimes. You need quality data. And so not everybody has access to it. So that's where, at least for certain areas, certain projects, we have the data. And in fact, we are launching, we call it data broker. So we are going to curate the data so that for in different areas. And so we are working with partners and things like that. So that we can provide this data for certain applications as and when they need. So we have very cool bunch of projects, and we can talk more as time goes on. So I really want to thank you, and so we'll do another podcast maybe next time. This is more like introductory, just to general topics, but we'll take, for instance, Student 360 or something, so we go deep down and you can talk to the project that you did, and what algorithms used, how the process, how this whole thing transformed from zero to wherever we are. And I think that would be interesting. I always say that, right? There are a lot of reality shows in the world right now. We are in the world of reality shows, right? Every other show is a reality show. If we had a reality show that we could watch how Google formed, how Facebook formed. I know they did movies. That's not exactly reality show. Trust me. And movie doesn't. Steve Jobs. I watched the movie. Um, if we had that reality show of that's a lot more informative than um, just reading their autobiographies and things like that. Because if you talk to Jeff Bezos right now, he puts words at very high abstract level. Oh, I started with what I want to do, then I understood how I want to do. Okay, so that's great. You get nothing out of it. Trust me. Point I'm trying to make is that my thing. Somebody told me, but I'm just using his line. When we do these projects, if we create a reality show out of that, so how you guys figured out the data, how just really how it happens as it happens. and then how you don't get along, and just like all these soap stuff. If you don't get along, if you get along, that's great too. Whatever it may be, doing that is more informative for a lot of youth than just all these romantic stories about all these celebrities, like Bill Gates. He dropped out of school, and I mean, if you drop out of school, it won't, so it won't work, right? So it's not that. So the point is that dropping out of the school is not the crux of the story. The dropping out of the school for him is, or staying in the school for him, is the risk. And for us, dropping out of school is the risk. If you understand those two, then we are in good shape. I mean, the person who is planning on doing something will be in good shape. So with that, I thanks again, and we'll talk to you soon.
Thank you so much for having me.
All right.